Alright, now let's look at treating dependent events as independent. We can treat dependent events as independent if our sample size is less than 5% of the population. We do this when we have a large population that we're choosing from and the chance of selecting the same person twice or the same item twice is extremely small. So for this example, we have a batch of 100,000 heart pacemakers. 99,950 are good and 50 are defective. Can we treat the events as independent if only 20 items are selected? So first, let's determine that. We need to know, is 20 less than 5% of the population? If so, then we can treat it as independent. So to figure out if 20 is less than 5%, we just take 20 and divide it by 100,000. That on your calculator, when you put that in your calculator, this is what you're going to get. It looks like 2e to the negative fourth. Well, that is scientific notation. That is 2 times 10 to the negative fourth. And that means take this decimal and move it 4 places to the left. The negative means move to the left. So, that would be 0.0002. So that's a decimal value. We need to change that to a percent because we have to compare it to 5%. So to change that to a percent, we move the decimal to the right 2 places. So that's 0.02%. Remember, we change a decimal to a percent by multiplying by 100. When you multiply by 100, it moves the decimal 2 places to the right. So how does 0.02% compare to 5%? Well, it's definitely less than 5%. So we can treat these events as independent. So the answer to this question is yes, we can. So next part. Selecting the 20 items, and even though it says without replacement, we determined on part A that we can assume independence even though it says without replacement. Find the probability that they are all good. So we want the probability of 20 good. So we have to determine how many are good. Well, they told us 99,950. And that's out of 100,000 total pacemakers. Now, we can multiply that by itself 20 times, but it's much easier just to raise that to a power of 20. So, use your calculator, make sure you put parentheses around the fraction, raise that to the 20th power, and you should get 0.990. So that tells us that there is a very large chance, 0.99, that's almost 1, right? So that's almost 100% chance of getting all good if we select 20 out of 100,000.